Hey, it's Chillmonger. It is Monday, the most important day in court. It's the actual day where we can hear from the actual guy who was actually in the actual Escalade when they were actually fighting. And when I say actually fighting, I mean her putting hands on him. And what did he say? Nope. Jonathan didn't do anything. Jonathan is an innocent man. He said this in Urdu with the translator. Now, remember, guys, the sketchy thing that they did on Friday where they said, just he cannot translate. He if he speaks, you see, he's gonna be confused. And what we need is for the entire weekend to pass by with these text messages. That appear that he admits to physical assaulting. But, all these article writers, I'm looking at Emily Palmer from People. You were sitting in the courtroom when the texts that appear, right? When you were also sitting in the courtroom when she was on testimony on day one. Hey, Stephanie, did he ever hurt you? No. Before March 25, he never assaulted me. Why don't we add that context in your articles, guys? Instead, it appears. That's wordplay. Yes, sure, it does appear. Yeah. Everyone's nodding their head like, yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's introduce everyone. We got Rocky. His YouTube channel is called Comic Boom. You know what to expect from a guy named Comic Boom. But what's your background all about? What's that?
Well, I want to be very clear. My background is in family law. I've been practicing for 26 years family law, and I have some familiarity in Canada, in the province of Alberta, when it comes to domestic assaults.
Oh.
But I don't. I'm not holding myself up to be an expert in American law. But it's not particularly vastly different. And I find this case very interesting, and I thank you, Chillmonger, for inviting me on, because I sort of enjoyed. I took this. This was entertaining to me. I know it's not very entertaining for Jonathan Majors or for anyone involved in it, but this is what entertainment law is about, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's for entertainment purposes, and that's exactly what we're getting. Entertainment. Yeah. People don't care about the truth; they won't care about what sells.
Yeah, sadly.
Sadly. We got Onzo. His YouTube channel is called Biggerford Entertainment.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me. Chill. You guys see the channel name? Check it out if you want to. But tonight it's about Jonathan Majors. Let's do it.
And then two of these dorks are from Spoiler Kings.
Super dorks.
Oh yeah.
Who's the bigger dork based off of their background? Is it?
Come on, man. I have a pile of comic books sitting here all the time.
Okay. Tank.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. This is this is only half of this stuff. I'd say Brian's probably the bigger dork when it comes to buying stuff.
Who has Pikachu in their background?
Oh, I don't think either of us.
Either of us, yeah.
Good job. Good job. No Pikachu.
No Pikachu.
Enter the Kang Dynasty. What's up, Stanley? So let's talk about the movie stuff. Has his name been drug in the mud so much without even the verdict yet? He pled not guilty. She says he's guilty. The driver comes in here and says Jonathan didn't lift a finger, as we were expecting him to say. Is it over for Jonathan? Is Kang Dynasty it? From what you've read in your Rocky, in your reading, what do you think?
Well, if I have to. I'm not going to be wishy-washy in my answer. I think he's not dead. I think we live this is a post-Johnny Depp era. I think that we're still in the midst of a backlash against Me Too. I think that this is my opinion, and it is biased. I do believe that there's a more favor of Jonathan Majors. I find that most people want to give him the benefit of the doubt. And in light of and we'll talk about the evidence and what have you, I think that there's ample reason to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I think that, look, interesting quick note about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Johnny Depp, I haven't exactly seen him lighting up the silver screen lately. So one could argue that it hasn't helped him. It hasn't helped his career all that much, even the not guilty, the aspect of it. And Amber Heard, well, I mean, she arguably hasn't been, I don't know. I mean, she's probably more into hiding, but the jury's out. I don't think either Amber Heard or Johnny Depp benefited from that fiasco, that legal drama they went through. So it's hard to say here, but if he's not guilty, as long as he's a hard worker, Jonathan Majors, by all accounts, he works his ass off. He's a tremendous talent. I think if he just keeps at it, plugs away at it, and for God's sakes, stay away, maybe go cold turkey on the women for a good solid.
No, I thought you were going to say stay away from the white women. I really thought you would have went there.
That's not my place to say. You guys can get away with that. I can't do
What have you ever told your woman to aspire to be? Have you ever given an example? Because there's a funny story with the Jonathan Majors case about, he said, be more like Michelle Obama, Would you ever tell your woman to be that?
I would get bitch slapped if I did that.
Oh man.
Hey, I asked if Jonathan's name was Drug in the Mud, but you know who was Drug in the Mud?
She's got Stephanie. She can't get enough. Don't, Vicky. Michael, go help Stephanie. Why?
Thank you to the Dre Max Show. Hey, leave a super chat and something happens to Stephanie, okay? That's the game we're playing here today.
Nice.
What up, chat? What up, panel? Dre Mac was just talking to Danny Does Law. Danielle was inside the courtroom. She's one of the few people. I was going to say she's media. She's not media. She's not considered a reporter. She's just a casual. She's a spectator who's got a little bit of paralegal experience to understand words and to give a clearer picture. She is a self-proclaimed Jonathan Majors fan. And if you're watching my channel and you haven't seen the 2 times I talked to her, go watch the live stream I did on day 5. And then on Saturday, it wasn't a live stream. It was just a recorded video because you know how YouTube likes to push those more stronger than you guys. We all know that, right?
Live.
Yeah. So then I did the recorded video and that also got thousands of views also. And it was filling in on the other days that she sat in on. And she sat in on today. We'll be speaking tomorrow or the day after. I have to set that up with her. And I think that'll be the last time I ever speak with her because she says, I'm going to go back and curl into my ball and hide.
Yeah.
She's only here doing it for us, doing it for the truth, getting out there because media are being media. And we should all know that. We all know that. Like politically, right? Like CNN, they lean one way. Fox leans another way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, your day 5 was amazing. So I got to. Your talk between her, I was like, man, this is amazing. This is really good.
Say all
really
the days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I started following Kat because of you, because I think she does a lot of good stuff too. Yeah. Danny is really good. And then obviously, Dre Mac and what was that? Was it Pam? I think
Pam Entertainment TV.
Pam
She was just live streaming just before I came on right here.
Yeah.
We got Ernest says Stephen Dre Smith in the house. Nah, if anything, this helps Marvel. At least fans know that he is a convincing villain. Shut up.
Chillmonger has blame it on his variant. He's just blaming it on his variant. It wasn't
oh my goodness.
I love the jokes. And hey, guys, if he loses it, that J is going to be Jabbari. But right now, that J is for Jonathan. I'm going to put a star around it and everything. So,
okay.
We got one more. Stanley Petaway also drops a donation. What are we going to do to Stephanie, guy? Pick a wrestler.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What? This is her when she was.
My first thought was Triple H, and I was like, that's probably not the right person right now.
Triple H is in this. Triple H is going to protect her. Nothing bad is going to happen to Stephanie in this clip. Oh no!
Roman Reigns just spared Stephanie. That was a bad one.
Oh.
Holy crap.
Thanks for the super chat, Stanley, and thanks everyone for supporting. Sissy Major says she's feeling good today. This is the biggest day. What are we going to do tomorrow? Tomorrow, how many more people got to be testifying? An expert on domestic violence? I think that's all that they can do. And they can't even get that into how much they can say about like battered syndrome, battered syndrome. Was it?
Yeah.
Let's go over to Brian.
Hey,
of all of the news days that have come out, when did you turn and feel like most comforted that Jonathan Majors is innocent?
Well, honestly, from before when we got all the information, I already felt that he was innocent. Yeah. So I got to kind of put that out there for everyone. So I'm not going to just lie about that. But today was probably the most important thing that I felt like beforehand. Friday was so bad, having those text messages come in on Friday and have it linger over the weekend and everyone be able to say all the things they want to say and take it out of context and everything was crazy. And then you have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to do that before we get to Monday with some more truth. Someone who's actually in the car, in the vehicle that saw everything happen, that is going to tell you exactly what's going on. It's not getting paid by anybody. Mm-hmm. And then we get this truth, but now it's not going to be on every news cycle. Everyone doesn't want to say that because all the bad stuff is what sells, feeds and tabloids and all that stuff. And that's what they really want. They want to try to ruin someone's career before really getting any truth.
It was like a triple team. It was also the DA doing work as well as Stephanie over on the stand. Look, I got another donation, so I'm going to interrupt my thought with this.
Oh, look out! Look out! Look out! Look out! Bring Stephanie! Bring
Get her, Bree. Yeah. Can we look at the wording of the texts and the testimony of the driver? Because I think it's contentious amongst the public. I'll pull that up in a second. I'll pull that up right now. But before I do that, hold on. Today we got to see and hear from somebody named Chloe, and she was the one who was hugging her over outside. She's a woman who's just a bystander that they just met that day. But from the way Steph was talking about it, she was like, I know Chloe. And they were asking questions about like, how many photos did you send to Chloe? Did Chloe send you that photo that you guys took at the club? And she's like, I just don't remember. But the way she said on a first name basis, Chloe all the time, you'd have thought that they were buddy. They're not. It appears after what we learned today, and I'll pull that up in a second, they had never spoke after March 25. Actually, what Jonathan Majors does is say, thank you guys for taking care of her. She gets back into the Escalade. Of course, they would have a falling out again for a second time. But Jonathan Majors thanked them, both her and her boyfriend. Was it Max? And I think the other guy was named Sham, whatever his name was. These three were not anti-Jonathan Majors witnesses. They were sort of like neutral, if anything, very much in his favor. They got to even say something about how when she was leaving the club, bumped into the wall, which for all I know, that's where she fractured her finger, right? That's where she could have sustained that injury herself
She
against
couldn't
that
tell
wall.
you which hand it was.
Couldn't tell you which hand what the ice was. Do you see how like big that is? If I'm a father, Rocky, all right. Well, your daughter's not that old, but still, is this not the type of man that you want your daughter to be dating?
Well, certainly. And even here's the another way of looking at it. If there's two ways to interpret the evidence, that he's either being extremely deceptive and he's putting on an act, or alternatively, he's just being a nice guy and doing what nice guys do. You got to give him the benefit of the doubt because it's reasonable doubt.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line. I mean, and so that's why, all this, if you look at his conduct and you look at he was charged with assault and attempted assault. Assault, you got to show that he had the intention an intention to hurt her and that he actually did. Or alternatively, an attempted assault is if he just needed the intention to assault her. I find it hard. There is, you can maybe find some evidence that maybe in some of the incidences he had some intention to hurt her, but even that's called into question. He's trying to stop her. He's in the backseat of the car. She's freaking out. The driver, albeit with some questionable language in the translation, which frankly they should have dealt with properly in cross-examination, but the prosecution didn't because they didn't want to take the chance that he would he would destroy their case even more. I mean, he's saying, he thought it was her that was doing it all. I mean, I don't know, I don't want people to judge me here, but frankly, I don't care. Anyone who's I'm in my mid 50s. I had a volatile, fun social life. I mean, when you have a woman that's going a little bit ape shit, and you got to defend yourself. If somebody walks in at the wrong time, they might get the wrong impression as to who's the aggressor. That's just the nature of the beast. And this is a toxic relationship. This was a relationship, to use the phrase, where these were two people functioning in dysfunction for a long period of time. They both knew what they were doing. And Miss Jabori, whatever, she certainly knew. She knew what she was doing. And frankly, well, the way I would put it is, even if he's guilty of assault or attempted assault, because this is a 6-person jury, and because even if they find that they're assault in this circumstance, I just see them acquitting. I see them acquitting. I don't see this. I couldn't convict in good conscience based on the evidence as I saw it. That's
10 minutes of deliberation, acquitted.
Yeah.
I think
Circumstantial at best.
Yeah.
All this stuff is like, yeah.
Yeah.
And even then, the circumstantial stuff is really saying, I'm not the aggressor. And it's so very difficult he's much bigger than she is. I mean, Jonathan Major is not the biggest dude because I'm much bigger than she is. I mean, he is. But I'm saying
Second time in a row I had Brian on and we brought up size.
Every day. It's every day.
You know what? I'm not shocked.
It's one of those things where when you're a bigger person, you can't just jump out and do things and be physical with someone. You have to know hands off on everything you're doing. Everything you're doing is, I'm not touching you. I'm not being aggressive towards you. I have to be extra because everything I do can hurt somebody.
Oh, tell him about how you in an office with a white woman. Tell him what you would never do.
Never. I bring another person in there with me. They walk in first. I keep my distance. 5 feet, no pressure. I'm never going to do that.
Or you can just run away for 5 blocks, right?
Right.
Was I wrong to say white woman, or is that like any woman?
It didn't matter what woman. I'm Matthew McConaughey. I'm Keanu Reeves. I'm no touching. I'm not hugging. I know that.
What I found surprising was I was expecting the driver to testify. They were talking for weeks beforehand about how he threw her back in the vehicle like a football. There was no such testimony.
Exactly.
Where'd that come from? And to me, that was just a blatant misrepresentation as to what the testimony actually was, particularly given that he wasn't even good at speaking English and they needed a translator. I mean, unless the translator, screwed it. I was just stunned.
For what Danny said on the live stream today is that he technically did not need a translator. They got it. They had a translator so that whatever is transcribed, it could go in both languages so he feels more comfortable and it's on the record. It had nothing to do with his ability to speak English or not. They just wanted to make sure that everything that was said was put in law, just in case he didn't know a certain word or like objection or something like that.
I'd have an easier time believing that if the Urdu translator was there on Friday.
It was on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't push it on purpose.
No. And so here's the exact wording that Sanadek was just asking us in the super chat. Josh Russell said that the driver testified he saw Jonathan Majors, quote, pushing her back into the car to get rid of her. That was the exact quote. So yes, pushing, but it's to get rid of her. It was, and then also in the correction. Previous tweets incorrectly referred to the driver witness as Naveed Sanwar. His name is Naveed Sarwar. Okay, sorry. It's the correction doesn't matter. I forgot my thought. Because I saw a correction. I wanted to give the actual news, but that's the wording that we were looking for. And I'll look for more quotes. Keep going, guys.
Danny does have her Facebook updated. So what I can
pull that up, please.
I'm getting that right now.
Thank you. Danny Does Law is the only person I want to really read right now. I wish I had Facebook.
All right. So
I don't see it.
Hold up, I'm about to pull it up right now. If you
also, when he does that, both of these witnesses, they're from the prosecutor's side, aren't they? So they're both called up, but isn't that look bad on them? Like you called up them, but they're really helping the defense out with everything they're saying.
Oh yeah,
they're supposed to be on your side, and now you're up there, and they're kind of saying everything you don't want them to say.
They did the biggest rookie mistake of all times. That's what they did. They felt that these people were going to go up there. They're going to, hammer Jonathan Majors home and all of that. And they totally flopped.
Every reporter, everyone in the gallery was probably thinking, don't worry. The prosecutor has more witnesses, and it's including the driver. They all thought they had it as in the bag. But nah, not true. Everything that we learned from Priya Chaudhry, that letter from April 18th, turned out to be pretty true, factual to a T. Everything that she said happened, including the cops and what they were saying about strangulation. When that one cop snitched on Sergeant Harper, what's
Swain?
Swain.
Yeah, Swain.
So when Officer Swain started snitching, it was an unbelievable moment. That doesn't happen.
And it's funny, right? Because when those text messages came out, all the articles, if you Google Jonathan Majors, you just heard this, Jonathan Majors, you know what I mean? Now that the drivers come on, said nothing happened, it's crazy.
No, nothing. It's
where are they?
Crazy.
Where are they?
Cold turkey.
Unbelievable, bro.
You got to put those texts in context. So they were damning texts, but at the same time, this is an admitted drug. This is an admitted user of sleeping pills. So she's combining barbiturates with alcohol. The testimony by the expert is that she drinks 4 straight drinks at least every time she goes out. Sometimes 6 times every time she goes out in a month. And if you're Jonathan Majors and you're as a fact worried about your career, you know what Johnny Depp went through, and you got this volatile woman that you've unsuccessfully tried to break up with 4 or 5 times,
right there.
You're going to be very careful in your text messaging. And if you really particulate those texts, he does not actually say
Facts.
He hit her. He was just more concerned about what she might say because she's a wild card, and she proved she was a wild card. If you look at the preponderance of all the testimony, in my view.
And as Danielle Atherton will remind us that early in the testimony of Steph, She says that Jonathan's never assaulted me before the March 25th incident. We call her Stephanie, by the way, if you're confused.
Yeah.
Super sticker coming out of Pam. What's happening to Stephanie today? Let's go. Is it Brie Bella got to finish the job? Or The Rock? I don't think I got The Rock ever do something to her. He insulted her. He said, "Happy birthday." I gotta go attitude era. She needs some parenting. That's what she needs.
Let's go.
Like you told me when I was a little girl, this is gonna hurt me a lot worse than it hurts you.
Get her.
No, don't do it, Linda. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That was Chloe today, huh? That was Chloe.
Yeah. Bro, hold on, wait a minute. When Danny said that Chloe don't talk to her at all, and she was just making it seem like that Steph and Chloe was just cool, and she was like, "We haven't talked since then." I'm like, "Oh my God." Every witness is coming up on stage is rolling over. They're sick of her. Then they know this is bullshit. They know it is.
If this wasn't New York, none of this would ever happen. That's just what it is.
Exactly.
You said if it wasn't New York, so
It
like
wasn't New York. If this happened anywhere else,
Chicago, Miami,
they would have dropped all the charges immediately.
LA.
okay.
Like this is only a New York thing. The fact that we're seeing that we see evidence of the video and of her actually coming after him, and yet they dropped her charges, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we have no evidence of him doing this stuff, and they kept us and went to trial with these charges. It's nuts. And the fact that it's only in New York, where a black men have to deal with that with a woman that looks the way she looks. That's all I'm saying.
It's a misdemeanor.
It's a misdemeanor. I want to not just ignore the male-female aspect of it too, because while it's heavily racial, and I think we maybe we overemphasize that part, but the male-women thing is there too.
Yeah, so absolutely. 100%.
I'm smirking because he says, "Make Stephanie McMahon Helmsley run." Get her, Rhonda.
Get her.
Oh no, Stephanie trying to get away. No, he's got her.
Can't run away, Stephanie.
It's funny because I've seen all of this. The one with Soul Cold Stunner is still the funniest one ever. It's still the best because I watched that live dying.
Facts.
Movement coach. Yeah, well,
she was moving. The way that she ran was probably like Wile E. Coyote and what was the bird? The Road Runner.
I googled movement coach and I still don't know what the hell that is.
Somebody just told me earlier. It was like when you got like zombies in the movie or in Ant-Man, you had different people who were.
Yeah, was it Anzo? I think it was Anzo.
Yeah.
In the last life.
Yeah.
He said, "Well, I stand corrected." Okay, let's read some of these. What we wanted to pull up. So, talk to me, guys. What are we pointing at?
So let's get to the beginning. This was Zoe Zoller. So when you see the Zoe, that's Chloe. That was the girl from the Lafayette video.
Her last name is Zoller.
Yeah, that
what
was
a professional. Like, we don't need that much professionalism, bro. We know her as Chloe. You didn't need to go with Zoller.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Not you, her. Like, I'm talking to Danielle. You keep telling us you're not a reporter. You're just a regular average Joe, average Jill.
No, I told her she had the home stenographer in her backpack when it said the home stenographer comes in travel size. All right, so it's testified that on March 24th to the 25th, was hanging out with friends to celebrate their birthday. Zoller admitted to having a few drinks, said she was intoxicated, but I don't believe I had any problems understanding. Testified that she noticed they were talking to someone. I did not know. When asked how she first encountered Stephanie McMahon III, says they spoke for a few minutes. When asked when she first seen Jonathan, she stated he proceeded to pass right past us around the corner. Says she didn't recall Stephanie saying anything, just said that she was flustered, crying, and upset. Says she proceeded to follow them around the corner, but didn't recall what Stephanie was saying. She says they were on the corner a long time, 30 minutes. Zoller testified that the driver met them outside and they brought them to where it was going to go, yada, yada, yada. Says that she then heard them running out of the car and that they were both upset, very upset. Says that she and her friends were trying to figure out where they could send Stephanie, and they could send Jonathan. So let me just stop here. That automatically proves she was still chasing around him like Day Day and Baby D. That's exactly what happened. Why don't you do something about the shit?
I don't get the Day Day and Baby D reference, but I want to.
Oh, you want me to
You
pull
ever
it?
seen that Friday? Oh man,
Yeah,
Friday.
I'll pull it.
Yeah.
I'll pull it. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'll pull
No,
it.
I get the reference now.
yeah.
You get enough. Yeah.
Do you think she was already drunk? When she took the phone? Yeah, because remember there was a thing before they were out together all night long, and there's actually footage of her at the restaurant when Jonathan goes to take a tinkle,
And she goes back to get that drink and like,
Yeah.
that's after they already leave it. Like, what?
If she wasn't drunk, she was drinking.
Tipsy.
We'll say.
Mhm.
Tipsy.
Well,
She did say
yeah.
tipsy. That was her words.
And
Yeah.
the defense
Everybody in the
counsel
club gets
asked her
tipsy.
if she squeezed some lime into her tequila shots too. The
Yeah, I
defense counsel
know.
asked her. I thought that was funny because she claimed to have a broken finger, right? So I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that was the
Yeah.
relevant
She asked
question.
that. See, I thought she just wanted to really say and explain all the drinking and give like a better version of it. But no, that's probably because of the tequila, or rather the finger.
Yeah.
Chaudhry's April letter and September 2023 said everything each witness testified. This was a waste of time, colossal waste of time, and taxpayers' money.
It's a assistant DA that's trying to get her name out there, and you trying to use somebody else as a stepping stone. I really feel that way, and I mean, it would not go through anywhere else. It is.
Kelly Galloway.
Chill, share my screen real quick. I'm gonna just show you an exclusive video of Stephanie McMahon pursuing Gracie Barry. Here we go, right here. Or
See.
he had to, he had to give her the whole razzle dazzle to get up out of here.
We're having a lot of fun, but you never know what the long-term damage of Jonathan Major's career will be done. Because as we're
Exactly.
looking at Amber Heard, Amber Heard has her one movie with Aquaman coming out, and then there's nothing. And that's not even because of the actor strike.
And you see, I wanted to answer that because you asked that question earlier. And I think if Marvel doesn't give up on him and he gets to do, the Kang stuff, that can bring him back, right? People are easy to forget, especially when it's the fact that he's found not guilty. But you're still going to have those people in the public eye, who think, oh, he still did it, so.
We got to do watch parties for Magazine Dreams, and we have to big that movie up.
Exactly. And I'm also thinking about this too. To repair his career, what I would do is, besides countersuiting everybody, is I would say, you know what, as far as relationships, I'm going to go get therapy. Or I would clearly say I'm going to get therapy. Me and Megan Good is going to see a therapist. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some things that that I want to work on in my life. You don't have to say what. Just say there's some things I want to work in my life. You clearly is stated that you didn't do anything as far as domestic violence, but you can't talk about pruning yourself out the timeline and don't say, I'm not going to go get any help. I would say the first thing to say is I'm going to go get help, and I'm working through a therapist right now for some of the things in my life.
Me and Anzo had a theory about that, him taking his life. That could be, and Anzo, why don't you finish my sentence?
Well, I was saying it could have been like being a little manipulative. You know what I mean? They have a fight and he's like, oh, baby, don't leave me. Nothing without you. I'm going to kill myself. So it could have been that type of a situation too as well, right?
Yeah, because it is out of context.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't want to necessarily believe that he's going to off himself, but I agree with you. If that is a thing, he can use that and be like, listen, I've been going through some stuff, maybe talk about past trauma and explain to people why he thought that way, and he's going to get help for it. So, yeah.
Right. Because he could be an advocate for mental health, and because use it in your favor. Use it as, I'm going to, I don't want to say the S word. So, pruning out people out of existence, awareness and all of that. I want to be an advocate for that because I felt this way, and this is the help that I'm getting, so I can advocate for other people who felt that way and become an advocate. And then everybody will change their tune after that. You know what I mean?
Also helps out being a black man. So black men usually do not take in counseling. So being a black man, you're saying, I'm going to be an advocate for this. We all need to talk to someone. We all have these problems. And if we talk to someone, maybe we can work our words through instead of having to worry about anyone doing all the things that they try to poke us and try to get us to react.
I kind of have like a counter, but I know you're gonna shoot it down. Ezra Miller, but you're gonna shoot that down because obviously there's a whole lot more
Yeah, that's so much
behind
more.
just the like assault.
Right.
But
And
therapy.
they tried to fix him, and Ezra Miller refused to go through it and do all the stuff that they wanted him to do. DC stayed behind him. If Disney stands behind Jonathan, I think Jonathan's going to be okay in his career.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
the hugest
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
forced to stay behind him. 2 reasons with the Kang character, Loki, Avengers, all that stuff. And then Magazine Dreams. Somebody in here just wrote Magazine needs to be on Disney Plus. Incorrect. What they need, because there was a whole actor strike and writer strike and things were delayed, and there's going to be like a vacuum, a hole of movies that won't really air. When Dune comes out in March, there's not going to be much competition there because the whole actor
Put
strike,
it right. Put it
So-
right there.
So what Magazine Dreams needs to do is come out in March, April, May, be something like that. 2,
That's interesting.
you know,
I say go in February.
too cold. I know you mean Black
Yeah,
History
that's
Month, right?
Yeah. Mark,
I mean, if he's doing what he's doing, he's talking about this counseling. He's trying to put it in that.
I
way,
see what you're
then
saying,
you
Brian.
do
Yeah.
Black History Month to say like I'm really promoting this, and
Too
now
soon.
I'm going to throw Make
No.
it good out there as much as I can.
They need to test the temperature and see how Jonathan Majors is treated. So that's up to us. Everyone
Yeah.
who's got a Twitter account needs to retweet all the friendly, nice, funny tweets and TikTok videos that you see that are funny. Enjoy the Jonathan Majors innocence and have fun with it. Make ours. I keep saying this. I don't want to be redundant, but it's important for us to make sure that we save this man's career and change the public perception.
And I agree with you too. He does have to be careful, right? Because he doesn't want to come out and then it sound like, oh, well, you're just doing this because of what happened. You know what I mean? So he has to be careful and strategic when he actually does come out and do this stuff. If he does, so yeah.
Well, he's only dating Megan Good because this is gonna make him look good.
Exactly.
Exactly. But see, that's why getting with, I'm gonna just say it, suicide prevention advocates will be so helpful in his career. Because if I was his PR team, because he's got to rehire another PR team. So if I was his PR team, I would say get with the suicide prevention people. Let's start ad campaigns. You go down there, you talk to people, be visible down there, speak your truth, speak some of these things to light that they think that you I mean, it could have been tongue in cheek. We don't know, but just speak to it, because what it would do is show that you are helping and that, this major superstar, it is a black man, that mental health is an issue within the black community, is getting help and advocating for more men to speak, like Brian said. So I think that would be amazing to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think he can do it better than, because I know you brought up Ezra Miller. There was too much like bad videos of Ezra Miller doing bad stuff. There's too much. Even with Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp still had a lot of negativity with the whole Amber Heard thing. Jonathan Majors, all he has is just he wanted to kill himself in that text. Again, with out of context and everything, and he can actually spin it to actually be a good, you know what I mean? Not a selfish good, but an overall good, you know. And it all, like Anzo said, it needs to be sincere, which whether he isn't sincere or he's just a great actor and can pretend to be sincere, it doesn't really matter, because he's gonna make it look sincere. And I think he can do that, and he could do it where other people who got accused of really bad stuff couldn't do it, you know. So because he doesn't have anything really against them, you know. There's no videos, there's no anything, and everybody coming out, even the prosecutors, their witnesses are all saying, no, he's a good guy. He was always a good guy. You know, it was like since day one, you know, everyone took the stand. You know, even Stephanie McMahon said that. Like, who's a good guy?
In Tank, remember when Robert Downey Jr. came from prison, the way they tried to rehabilitate his career?
Yep.
He needs to take the same RDJ approach with this, you know, that's what I'm saying. Go to all that stuff that's advocating for the things that they allegedly said that you did. As far as like this, I'm not talking about the crime, but as far as like the suicide, and because that's what they're putting out. And and like I said, just go forward with that. And I guarantee you that will repair his career better than anything else.
I got a question though.
Can you hold that question for one little bit? Because this is the movie that Danielle was just saying that Spike Lee definitely will stick by him. DA Understudy is in post-production.
The Understudy, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was DA. Like, so there's a movie that Jonathan is going to be a part of. So that's good. I didn't really know that he's got already things in the pipeline, more than just the Marvel role and the Magazine Dreams. Bran?
That's exactly what I was going to say, because my fear is that Marvel is going to be okay, right? Because he's playing the villain, you know, and everyone sees him as villainous. Does that typecast him also? Even if his career continues to go down that road, now he only could be the bad guy. He needs positive movies too that he could show his acting chops.
But I don't think so, because in the Five Bloods, he wasn't villainous. In The Harder They Fall, he's amazing in The Harder They Fall. You know what I'm saying? So
but how many people look at Disney? And the thing is, so we have this trial, and then you see a Disney thing that portrays him as a villain. Does that hurt his overall?
I still don't think it hurts, because the Kane character is complex anyway.
It is complex.
You know what I mean? So you can if you write it well, because we all know how Disney is right now. But if you write it well, you can make him. You can repair even that character to make him compelling enough. So where you're looking at it, you're like, well, I get it. I got a general understanding right now. Just like they did with Thanos. They made Thanos the protagonist of Infinity War. So you're taking his perspective and be like, you know what? He was kind of right.
Yeah, I got a T-shirt that says Thanos is right.
You know what I mean? So,
being a villain doesn't hurt. Just ask Randy. I got to get out of nowhere.
And I was just gonna say, I think he's too good of an actor to be typecast. You know what I mean? Like he's just really, really good. So I think sooner or later, people will forget. At least the majority of the people will forget what happened, especially if he gets off. And then someone will give him that chance like they did with Robert Downey Jr., especially if he's showing that he's not that person and that he's doing all the right things. He'll get that chance.
I really hope you're right.
Same. He's a victim. Do. The Dennis Rodman movie we haven't heard word from it. So maybe they're in the wait and see period. Was it an A24 movie doing Dennis Rodman? Or was it?
I don't know.
I know about the Dennis Rodman movie, but I don't know if it was A24 or not.
Lovecraft Country, he wasn't a villain also.
At all.
No, but it's once
great
again,
in that.
The amount of people that see Disney movies is different than the amount of people that are watching these other great films that we've seen him be amazing. So, and we talk about majority of people that, population. So we're talking about black people, we're talking about white people. He can even be typecasted into just being the only black movies. So that those are things that you don't want to happen. You want him to be out there and open for everybody.
He's in the Army commercials during NFL games. He was. They pulled it because of the arrest, which, as we learned, should have never happened
in the first place.
They pulled it because of the arrest, and unfortunately, maybe they won't ever return. But they were expensive to shoot. But then they're the Army; they got money.
Yeah.
See,
so what Brian was saying with like the King thing, I'm more worried about magazine dreams, because from what I understand, is he plays a bodybuilder that is toxic, kind of, man kind of thing, steroids, whatever. So it's going to dive into possible violence, possible suicide and self-harm and other harm. So I wonder how much of that movie, especially being months later after this, is going to be, and he's going to have to play that line of like, yeah, this is what could happen. That's why we need to take care of mental health. But I wonder if a lot of people are gonna be more like Brian, like, oh, we got this guy that does this in a movie that does that. Oh, life imitates art. There's gonna be so many of those articles.
When he was in Creed, everyone was like, oh, but look at him. I'm like, look at him. What do you mean?
That's why I'm saying jump aboard right now on
as soon as the trial's done.
As soon as it's done, get with suicide advocates and all of that. Get on that immediately. So when you see magazine dreams, hey, this is just me being a character, but this is my real life, and these are some of the things that I've been through. So, I want you guys to get as much help as possible. Hit that as hard as possible. Put the suicide prevention number at the end of the movie. Anything you can. Anything that you can to get ahead of that, so you don't have to worry about anything.
And you're right, because a lot of people put these celebrities on this high pedestal, right? Where it makes you think like they're perfect and they can't do nothing wrong. Now he's coming out and saying, listen, guys, it's not what you think. Yes, I may be making money and stuff, but I'm still human and I still have issues that I have to deal with. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He's got to win a defamation lawsuit against her.
Right.
Well, he's got to see how things are. If he returns to his same prominence, don't do it, because we don't need more legal trouble. And like people would be like, oh, we're gonna wait now to see if he wins that, and then we can't act on it if he loses the defamation. So wait on it,
right?
And then get the defamation. But definitely, what's her name? Priya Chaudhary. Is that the name of his defense attorney?
Yeah, Priya Chaudhary.
Yeah.
I got all the names. So if Priya Chaudhary still goes after the DA over his mishandling of trials, allowing things that shouldn't even see trial to take trial, and if she can like get him out of office or something like that, that would also be like a spectacular win, even for him. Even for him.
Absolutely.
You got to go after that PR group that left him. I was like, that's why he pays you. Like, he pays
Exactly.
you.
And
And
the
then when it's time to
management.
do the job, they just dip out. I was like, what are you, what? Like, and it's not cheap either. That's a lot of money that as soon as the first thing happened, they left. And I was like, that's your job. That's what you get paid for. So I was like, I would definitely go after them just on a business like, level.
Don't say that. She says, honestly, he didn't need to be encouraging young black boys to join the U.S. Army. They aren't for us. Worse than the police, in my opinion.
Facts.
No, man, it's hard,
no,
guys.
facts, bro.
I want to hear what Blue has to
it's
say.
hard.
I want to hear what Blue has to say. As a man, he wasn't in the Army. He was in the Navy, right? Was he?
I think he was. No, I think he's in the Marines.
No, they're all the same thing.
No, the Navy or seamen.
Recast T'Challa, bro. Recast T'Challa. Jonathan Majors will be back and better.
He who remains.
Oh, how was I supposed to know that HWR was a thing? Nobody knows that.
I already had. Wait, hold on, wait a minute. When Fatal, hold on, wait a minute. I would just say this: when Fatal J called you French Montana, you have a new name. You're now Chill Montana, or you're French Canadian.
He who remains innocent.
So Chill is from the English part of Canada, so he can never be the French Canadian.
Yeah, he can. My bad.
I'm the French Canadian.
Okay.
straight out of Quebec. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you in Toronto, aren't you, Chill?
I am.
Oh yeah, I see. I
Just like she is here. Get her, Trish. Hit that car. One more. Send a super chat. Something happens to Stephanie. we got Cornelius agreeing with the whole army, the Navy. Sorry, the Navy thing and the Army thing. All right, man.
Navy.
Marines most dangerous.
No, it is. I mean, they're the ones. They're the ones that send you out.
Yeah.
First, you're the first one on the ground before anything's figured out. Marines go.
Can they do anything to win this trial after the driver comes in and doesn't testify that Jonathan did indeed hit her? What can they do to win this trial, to convince that jury?
You talking about the prosecution?
Yeah, what can the prosecution do right now? It's over. It's about over. Rocky?
Well, other than a secret witness we're not aware of, I'm not familiar with their entire witness list. Is that the final witness of the prosecution? Was the driver?
They have one more witness left.
But that's the domestic violence
advocate.
But the judge has already made a ruling in favor of the defense, in my opinion, by saying that they cannot say that certain types of behavior are indications of a history of domestic abuse.
Exactly.
So putting that, I mean, I hope the defense is on there. She better bring her A game, because she should be objecting to every single question asked by the prosecution with that witness. I mean, I'd be really curious to know what the very, very specific parameters are of the restrictions on that, because I mean, all of us know just from our own life experience that, I mean, a woman, I mean, and even us men, we can act crazy or out of character in a tumultuous relationship. It doesn't mean that our spouse has abused us. We might just be, we might have our own flaws, our own mental health issues. It might have nothing to do with our spouse. I mean, it might, maybe my wife is psychotic. Who knows? You guys don't know. But I mean, I don't know. To me, it's a double-edged sword, and I think it's problematic, and I think the judge made the right call. But I'm really curious, because that's the only thing, barring that, unless something catastrophic comes from that testimony, I don't know. I think that this is a win for Jonathan Majors.
So we're getting when's the last day? When do we get the verdict? If there's only one witness, and I don't expect Priya Chaudhry to take too much time on
probably Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, that's
Wednesday.
Because I think they go in, they deliberate, they come out. I honestly think they dropped this whole entire thing. I believe, because
before it comes out to jury, they just drop the charges.
No,
no.
No. No, I'm saying the jury is gonna be like, drop all this. He's innocent. Okay. This is all bull crap, because not only do you got the witness from the drive, you got the driver's testimony. You have so much footage of what happened, you know, to come up with a conclusion that this man was not the aggressor. There was no harassment, because I know everybody was like, well, you can get it for aggravated for harassment. Well, the girl is on there off camera screaming and hollering at him. So who's harassing who? You know, so I'm looking at the aggravated assault, the attempt, all of this, all of this stuff. They're going to be like, you know what, we're done. Let's acquit them. Let's drop all this. Let's go home and have ice cream.
Let's go home and have ice cream.
And there's also the cop. There's also the cop that in his report said there was a laceration above the eye. There was no laceration above the eye. He never changed. He never clarified his report. He never revised his report. But yet, at the same time, the same police department filed charges against the alleged victim, which the prosecution refused to prosecute.
The DA said no.
That. So
the DA said there's no prosecutorial merit. And the first day she's on testimony, she says, I stole his phone. I hit Jonathan. Criminal mischief was one of your charges.
Exactly.
That's prosecutorial incompetence. I mean, make up your mind. I mean, they're trying to suck and blow at the same time. I mean, your own policemen are making the judgment call to lay a charge like they did against Jonathan Majors, and then they also decide to lay a charge against her. Do you know when police do that? Let me spell this out for people, and let me say the quiet part out loud. All right. The quiet part out loud is when police walk into a situation and there's man and woman yelling at each other and they're not really sure what's going on, and maybe they perceive some degree of deception or something's uncomfortable about it, but it smells wrong, it doesn't pass the smell test, and the cop's not sure. They lay charges against both. It's sort of like that old expression, kill them all and let God sort them out. Sometimes cops will say, screw it, you're both getting charged, and then you can both put your evidence to the prosecution, and then the prosecution can decide. Well, that's what the cops, I think, wisely did here. And then for whatever reason, evaluating the evidence, astonishingly, the prosecution came down, made the decision they did, which I don't agree with, and I think it sounds like most of us don't agree with the decision that they made. But
I think the 292 folks watching us don't agree either.
Yeah, it's
the coercion. You know, that's the other thing. I mean, even with her, the police doing this stuff, we wouldn't get that far if they didn't do what they did to try to. So this is he choked you, right? Like, I mean, you're coaching her into getting this to this point. This is ridiculous. Like,
corruption doesn't end because the whole time that the video was playing, there was no audio playing for the jury, and they don't even know that they can ask for translation, not the translation, but the
transcript.
The transcript. You can see subtitles on the video if you really wanted to see it. What I really want to see right now is this super chat that just came in from Nikki the Great. I just want to see Stephanie McMahon Helmsley III. Get it for Jonathan. What are we doing? We're going to the top rope. Get her, Bree. Remote. There you go. And Stephanie was way out of position during that.
I was just about to say that. She almost missed her mark. She was out of position. I wish
SummerSlam 2015.
Yeah, I wish I thought there was one where Kane chokeslam Stephanie, but maybe I'm wrong during the Attitude Era, but maybe I'm wrong on that one.
Okay.
You could be right. I've been watching some old wrestling stuff, so I'm gonna send you some stuff. Chill.
You think I'm gonna run out? Umali now he comes in and says, "Chill. Are you Sikander 555 related? You're cooler." I don't know who that one is. Is that like a French Montana spinoff also? Sikander 555. Here, I'm gonna give you the two flip the birds.
I'm kind of glad you did.
What? And that's the bottom line. Says so.
That's my shit. I swear to God, that's my shit. That's
exactly. Thank you, Rocky. Hey, Donnell, if you're a DC fan and you found the right guy, Comic Boom, Rocky's channel is where you go for every single week comic book reviews on the DC side of things. You know what I mean? If you want Marvel, you're at the right place because Brian is one of my regulars on the Black Panther review. Dre, you skipped out on me last week, didn't you?
I was at work.
Yeah,
I do apologize. I have to pay these bills for all these arcades and all these other crap in the back.
Hey, we all have YouTube channels, and to the 300 folks who joined us, I'm wrapping up, by the way. So I would say that after this trial, we're going to do and continue our stuff. What the Spoiler Kings are about is talking about every trailer that comes out. They'll live stream about every TV show that you need to be knowing about. They watch. So you go to them for that kind of stuff. For the Dre Mac show, he's doing commentary. He's a live streamer often. Why am I talking for you guys? Why don't you guys make your own cases? So, Spoiler Kings, you guys go first.
Go ahead, Tag. You do it. Take
Go. Yeah. So like Chill said, we do the trailers, movie reviews. We also do like some movie updates. So even if we weren't going to be on Chill Stream, we were going to do it ourselves and talk a little bit. Because we think this stuff is important, just as as Hollywood news is, concerned. But yeah, we just kind of do that every Monday and Thursday, live, and just have fun and kind of nerd out. And,
Dre?
Yeah.
And then, of course, I'm the Dre Mac Show. I do movie reviews, show reviews on DC Marvel content, and I do the Black Panther review. I just got my Black Panther in from Marvel today, so I'm gonna go ahead and read that and get that together for you guys here soon. So,
Onzo.
Nice.
Bigger Ford Entertainment. I do some of the comic movie stuff and geek stuff on Chaos Central. On my channel, though, I do OOC, which is Off Our Chest, where we talk about stuff that concerns us. And I also have another show called The Smoking Podcast, where I do a little bit of commentary, but I also explain the benefits of smoking marijuana. So, yeah, there you go.
Recast T'Challa.
There you go.
And recast T'Challa.
I didn't say nothing. There's too much people watching. I'll leave it alone right now.
You're outnumbered, man. You're outnumbered.
You don't even want me to get started.
Last but not least, we have Comic Boom.
Well, I mostly just review DC Comics every week with another buddy of mine, Jace from the Comic Source, and I just really have more time doing that. And coming up, I'll be. It's always nice in December. I can I take. It's a real bitch to come up with my top 10 or top 20 of year's best comics. I find that very challenging, but yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of hard work reviewing comics. I find it less work actually preparing for this stream than I do reading 18 comics a week. It's
it's hard. Hey, I want to know what you think about Superman Lost. That whole thing has been really interesting.
I love it. I really like it. I love the concept. It was a kind of a unique concept. Christopher Priest is doing a really good job. I'm enjoying his work on that. Yeah.
Shout out to Draco808. I'll highlight your comment. When is Jonathan getting sentenced?
Never.
Professor Stone Fan. That's more like it. All great channels. So thanks everyone. You know what? I'm going to continue doing these live streams until you stop showing up, even after the Jonathan Majors trial, because why not? And I'll keep inviting a lot of my YouTube pals, and we can make this community larger, grow it stronger, so that the next time someone's on trial for a woman who's seen reportedly at the club, we got the surveillance video and the cops falsified an arrest. The next time that happens, our platforms are larger and we can speak and defend more better. Chillmonger out.